Hello and welcome to Cookies Enabled live stream What's New Wednesdays. And I am Will Caldwell here, welcoming you to the channel again. And my lovely friend here, Jaeger/Andrew, has been helping us out, and my kind of partner friend here on the channel. And we are going to be talking about some awesome topics. We got energy crises in Texas. We've got Navy patents that were filed over the years. We're going to go over the Paramount Plus issue that I had in my last video. Sorry again about that if you were tuning in. As well as the NASA missions, and a few other random topics are going to be thrown in there. So we got some pretty cool stuff for you guys today. Hopefully you will stick around, and thank you for joining us. Again, we are Will and Andrew. And Andrew, you wanted to start by talking about the issues they're having out in Texas right now. And it's not just Texas. I hate to say this. I know it's really a huge energy crisis, mainly because these poor people just had like probably the worst cold spread across the United States that we've had in decades, if not centuries, probably. I'm not 100% sure on that science of meteorology, unfortunately. But I do know it was definitely like pretty severe. I'm hoping not too many people become ill affected by this at all, but I know you had some things you wanted to share regarding the energy and how that's all kind of playing out. Really, especially when we're talking in the South, how it's different than I'm up here in Michigan. I know you are as well. Our energy dependencies are very different, and so I'm sure you want to kind of talk about all the different options and things that are available right now, and how they're kind of playing an effect in this kind of winter war that we have going on.
Yeah, I mean, we've all seen what's been happening. It's absolutely horrible. There are millions of people without power. Like you said, not just in Texas, but throughout the world. Germany is in a very bad cold snap as well. So many places. It's my friend lives in San Antonio, and yesterday I looked. Their temperature was 40. No, it's like 24 degrees, something like that. It was
Yep.
absolutely horrible. I just wanted to dispel some of the myths a lot of people have when it comes to these things quickly, because we're real fossil fuels. We can't rely on them forever. They're going to run out. We need to look into other, sources. Wind energy and solar are the key ones. You saying it's not.
Mm-hmm.
Expensive.
Mm-hmm.
And then they can switch back over or charge the batteries overnight when energy costs are lower, to keep just the lower cost to reduce greenhouse emissions. That's a huge thing. So first myth, that is, we need to work with battery technology. That is what is holding us back when it comes to solar power, when it comes to electric vehicles, to anything like that. Batteries really what's holding us back right now. But we're working on it. The other thing I hear people say a lot is that it still takes fossil fuels to manufacture solar panels, to manufacture wind farms. Yes, it does. That's undeniable right now. The thing is, the efficiency of power coming from a power plant is so much higher than it is coming from an output, like from a home or a car.
Right.
Energy output, average coal plant is 35% efficient. I'm looking, Forbes had an article. A lot of the energy is cost in the production of electricity. Gas cars only get about 25% efficient energy from burning that gasoline, and it still takes much less energy. There are much lower levels of carbon emissions to manufacture all of these things, the batteries, the wind turbines, than to actually just burn the fossil fuels in our homes.
Right.
So
Well, and
at the end of
there's
the
not
day,
just solar and whatnot. I mean, we especially up here in Michigan, we have a lot of geothermal
geothermal,
plants,
yep.
which is huge. That's becoming another thing because we're finding that you can apply this almost anywhere now. It really depends on the situation. I mean, it would be very hard to do in some of the southern states where it's very dry. They don't have a lot of water, even if you dig miles deep. Water is hard to find. So that would be an issue, and I totally get that. And this is obviously kind of situation here. So obviously geothermal is not a situation or a solution for some of these people, but solar, wind can definitely be applied to some of these situations and can not necessarily be a backbone, but can enforce the backbone that we already have in place. And that's kind of what you're saying. Instead of needing one power plant to do whole towns and cities, you can have smaller little, houses actually kind of becoming their own little power plant in themselves, and not only providing themselves enough power to sustain that house, but other houses and other neighbors, and so on and so forth. This could be regurgitated back through the system. Again, it
Exactly.
might not be enough to keep everybody alive, but or running, but it would be enough to keep people at least comfortable than they currently are.
Exactly.
So,
Most of your power systems, when it's solar, if you're producing more solar power than your home needs, it can feed that electricity back into the grid, which lowers the energy cost for everybody else around you. Even if it's a little bit, it makes a difference. I think it will be feasible. The best statistics I could find are that it would take a solar farm roughly 48,000 square miles. So I think that's like 280 or 220 or 280 miles on either side. So
right,
the size of a county, you throw that in desert, if you can find a way to store and transfer that energy, you can use that to power almost
right,
the entire United States. It doesn't take that much of a
right. And I know
footprint. And you compare that to how many other power plants, it's just so much more efficient. Um, they have to look into. But again,
yeah,
solar
there's
power
a
and
lot.
wind power are not to be they're not something to be afraid of or to think that it's never going to work. We have to put all the money into it to make it work.
Right.
Um, as we found out with the COVID vaccine, as we found out decades ago with the moon landing, if you throw enough money at a problem, you can probably fix it. It comes
Almost,
down to
yeah,
money
pretty
and
much.
funding and interest, and that's what we're starting to see now. But I will definitely do a video on solar or green energy because there
Yeah,
are so many.
yeah, we're definitely going to do more
Uh,
of that in the future.
but
This
the
is
issue
just
right
us hitting
now,
on
some
small
people are
topics.
claiming that they're trying to blame the power outages on Texas
Right.
on green energy when Texas still gets 90% of its energy from fossil fuels. So it's not their
Yeah.
fault.
No.
It's
Nope.
and it's crazy.
So
I
yeah,
feel horrible
it's a
for
change
everybody
that's
in
been
the
needing to happen, I feel, and now this will be the reinforcement, especially now that Biden's really got their back and declared emergency state for Texas, and I think there was one other state as well. I could be wrong about that. I know Texas got it, which means they're
they
going to
got
get
hit.
millions, if not billions, of funding to fix this, so it won't happen again. Just in
I
case,
feel really
even
bad
as
for everybody.
yeah, we definitely
If you're in this
feel for you.
situation, please be safe. We
Yeah.
hope the best for you.
Yeah, it's not like we're getting
We
much of
will
a
get.
relief up here. I think it was -8 this morning.
Yeah,
So,
it was pretty cold.
yeah.
I mean, it it's going to happen. Climate change is real.
Hmm.
We're going to see this happen more and more often. It's going to be weird. It
Yeah.
doesn't just mean the whole earth is going to get warm or the whole earth is going to get cold. The climate is literally just going to change.
It's
But
just
it's
going to
going to
get
change in
crazy.
ways that we're
Crazy,
not
crazy,
used
guys.
to, in ways that we're not prepared to deal with. And we have to get ahead of that
Yep.
so that things like this don't happen in the future. We had that a few years back here when it dropped to a wind chill of -40, and they were telling
Yes.
everybody, drop your get like some of the
Yep.
power and gas plants could not keep up with the demand. So they said,
Yeah.
drop temperatures down to like 50 in your house. So many
Yep.
people said, no, I'm going to keep my house warm at 70.
Those greedy jerks.
It's about sacrificing something to help other people. It's the same thing as wearing a friggin' mask.
Exactly.
It's a bit of an
Exactly.
inconvenience for you, but it could mean that somebody else lives.
Yeah, and the issue back then, it wasn't even that far ago. It was just a couple of years ago, actually, that this happened. We were literally running out of natural gas reserves, and for Michigan, this is really unheard of because we use natural gas every day, all the time. This is not so for us to be running out of it was very scary. Especially when the temperatures were so deathly cold, you could barely spend 5 to 10 minutes outside without some kind of severe burns on any exposed skin. And today is actually kind of in that boat too. Yes, the sun is out, and it is partly cloudy right now here in Michigan. It is not snowing, but we are buried in it, and it is looks are very deceiving because you go outside and it is just takes your breath away. It's so cold. So yeah. um, so yeah, this is definitely not going away anytime soon. We just unfortunately need to really start looking into ways of improving not only our neighborhoods and our towns and our cities, but our entire footprint on the environment as a whole, because it's all coming back threefold at least. Um, which kind of leads us into our next topic, actually, with a bunch of Navy patents that were released. Some of these are actually pretty old. They came out as old as 2004, but they're just now kind of hitting the public eye, which is kind of interesting. Now, some of these have been brought up a few times, but the one I really wanted to hit on first was this craft looking shape. And this one is literally supposed to be able to, kind of like a submarine, go underwater. As you can see by the squiggly line around the outside of this kind of diamond shape, this is supposed to create some kind of magnetic field generated on the outside, and this grayer area on the inside of the triangle is a vacuum. Possibly, it says noble gases would be inside this vacuum chamber to separate the two magnetic fields that are generated. One's on the inside, one's on the outside. And this dual magnetism allows this craft to fly, and not just underwater, but above water, in the air, move around. It has a propulsion system, apparently. The patent is extremely vague, but it does have some math. It does have, you can dive into the sources I've posted below, and check out all the stuff. I'm not making it up. This literally did come out. I know we were talking about energy, and this is kind of a different way to look at how energy could technically be used to potentially move mass, I guess you could say. And this is kind of what their idea is here, kind of interesting, I think. And The next one is this electrical generator, and this one is very vague as well. But almost, if you look at the diagrams that they have, this one doesn't really show it, but it does kind of look like the Tesla big ball building that he had, that could broadcast electric wireless technology slash frequencies through the air that would allow you to maybe charge a light bulb, in that case back in the day of Tesla. This one had a fairly recent patent. I think it was 2016 or 17 for this one. And the last one I wanted to talk about was the fusion generator. This one came out in 2016. This one hit the news pretty big. This is just one picture of the magnetism. As you can see, the arrows indicate how they'd be spinning, and the plasma flow in between that would create the densely packed heavy metal magnetism that you would need for a fusion generation or generator. So this is very intriguing because we've only seen theories of this. Iron Man is actually a good way to look at it, because they do actually kind of have I think it's a helium arc generator or something that's kind of the same technology as this. This is a different way of doing it with heavy metals. And again, dive into the research, and these patents are really, really intriguing. There's tons of documents, and most of them are not actually blocked out either, which is kind of surprising for government documents. So, really cool
Well,
stuff.
I think
Could
that shows
potentially
to
help.
that kind of shows how, like, out there and sort of theoretical some of these patents are. I mean, anybody can get a patent for anything. So a lot of
Anything.
this technology, it's very theoretical. Um,
Extremely.
and like we don't have the technology to make most of these things right now.
No.
It's more of like a
I
thought
mean, this one
concept,
literally is the shape
but
of a
some of
UFO.
the foundations well, some of the foundations are still there. I mean, we are working on fusion reactors. When you
Yes.
mentioned that, it reminded me just last December, China finally switched
Yes.
on their
Yes.
new fusion generator. It's
They
called the
did.
HL-2M East Tokamak.
Yep.
They're going to try to go for a full strength fusion run.
Didn't they get
They
it to
call it
like
an artificial sun. The
200
issue
some
with
million degrees or something too? They had set a record, I thought, with the heat and compression settings because they had reached a number that we as humans had never generated, I thought. But maybe I misread that. Don't have the
they're
article to back
getting
that up,
there.
but I know they were really close.
It says in 2018 they were able to reach plasma reaction for about 10 seconds, which honestly
Yep.
is huge in
That was
that.
the one. Yep.
The issue with these right now is it takes more energy input than they're getting out of it. What
Absolutely.
I mean, if
Absolutely.
they can get it, I mean, the sun is a fusion reactor, so it's the same concept.
Yep.
Putting, you're getting more energy out just by fusing these atoms together.
Right.
It can put out, I mean, I mean, if we can get fusion running effectively and efficiently, then
Yeah.
we've literally solved the climate issues.
That would straight up solve so many of our
Everything.
climate problems
It would,
instantly.
you could run,
Instantly gone, done,
you
problem.
could run the world on a big enough fusion reactor,
Yep.
and it would just be one plant. It would be
It could just.
small.
Yep. Yep. This is all very plausible. These theories are definitely legitimate, in the sense that they have a ton of good science behind them. And actually, there was a couple of different fusion plants that were tossed out in the 80s. I want to say Clinton ended one of the fusion product or projects. I don't remember what part of the government was working on that, but they did shelve it for some more space exploration stuff, which was probably good. Now that we're looking into the future of trying to get off the planet and SpaceX and all that other stuff. So, but I mean, it's again, we really need to solve our energy problems. I know Bill Gates has been working on that. With he came out with the mini nuclear reactor core that this could, it's almost the size of a house. It's really really small, completely self-sustains, and actually uses old discarded um, radioactive material to generate the nuclear reactor that it can be used. So you can actually reuse this stuff that's just been sitting around decomposing, can actually be turned into something useful again. So these are all solutions that could definitely be coming out in the next easily 5 to 10 years to really start stomping out our energy crisis issues, not just in the United States, but I think globally. This could be a huge change, and for a good thing.
I think
Honestly,
so.
this has been needing to come for generations. I think this energy war is an old Cold War that needs to die for real.
By
But
the way, I see we have three people
hey,
in the video watching.
hi everybody.
Um,
Thank you for tuning
we're
in.
we're lonely here. Will somebody please comment? We haven't had a single comment yet on our live
This
stream, and
is
I would love
true.
to have that.
We would love a
Like this is
comment.
a, we want this to be a dialogue with you guys. We can answer your questions too. Oh,
Yes.
and
Did we get one?
Misael, I
Oh,
probably
Miss
pronounced
Al,
that
did he
wrong.
comment?
Misael, he says hi, hello.
Hello, hi Miss Al. Miss you,
You are our
bud.
first comment at a live stream. Congratulations.
Thank you.
When we get big,
Oh
we'll remember
yes.
that.
Oh yeah, I'm definitely gonna send you some cookies for sure. Hopefully that farm's going well. And definitely our next topic I wanted to talk about. I tried to talk on this in our last one and I screwed it up, and I'm so sorry. Is Paramount Plus. They are taking over the CBS All Access channel, and I got the logo right this time. And
Well, tell everybody what happened last time.
so what happened last time was I had uploaded the videos onto my machine. I'm sorry, downloaded them onto my machine so I could upload them as a little image like this, so you guys could see. But I forgot to mute the images, unfortunately, and so those images became, or the videos just overplayed everything, and the copyright infringement. I could not have the audio playing. So I had to go back and just cut that whole scene directly out of our live stream. So I'm really, really sorry about that, everybody. Hopefully that wasn't an issue. I think Misael commented on one of our videos, and we had to re-upload some things too, and I think that comment got deleted. I'm really sorry about that.
Yeah, Miss L. To touch on that, video went up. I played it the next morning, and said, "I'm not happy with this." Because I had missed a few things I hadn't even realized, and so I decided, you know what, before we get too many views, I'm just going to do a quick re-edit, but we had it back up the next, within an hour.
I mean, you have a good editor if he's never happy with his final product. So that's why I like, Andrew as my main editor. He always double checks our work and really, really with a fine-tooth comb, which is necessary. So that's what happened with our last episode and with our last live stream.
No,
unfortunately,
it wasn't because of the Sega CD hate.
Nothing to do with that.
I kept that in there. I'd forgotten somehow. We talked about all of these video game consoles. I forgot to talk about the original Xbox. The 360 was in there, but not the original. And I originally put in something. I think you might have seen it. It was like, I'm sick. And the next.
Let me just fix it. Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah.
Right now, so we're trying to figure that out.
We're doing our best.
Once we can get some really good quality video, that's going to really make things different. But we're working on it.
Definitely. Yeah,
it's
a work in progress.
We're a little too small to have a Patreon right now to have people send us money to things. But if anybody out there is, just won the Powerball and wants to send us a few cameras or mics, then
oh man,
I'm not going to say no.
Oh, definitely not going to say no. I'll give you as much credit as you need, honestly. But yeah, so I want to appreciate everybody that's been super supportive and dealing with all of our different audio issues and video issues. Because again, we're doing this completely out of our own pocket, so this has been very tricky to do, and I'm using very outdated hardware just to get these live streams to work. And so far, so good. Fingers crossed that they continue to hold out on me until I can get replacements in. And get things upgraded. So
we also
very cool.
Very, very bad year when it came to finding webcams. Because once lockdown happened, everybody bought a webcam, and you couldn't get it on Amazon for like 3 months.
Right.
And the ones you could get, I mean, it's a decent camera. The audio, I think, is hopefully good quality, but we want to get into that 4K level at some point.
On the issue of quality, I unfortunately do have to downgrade this to get my live streams to come in as good as I can, other than massive buffering, which you guys have probably already been dealing with. And I'm really, really sorry about that. Again, my main machine is about 8 years old, and one of our welcome episodes that is coming out will explain how I built that and where I came to upgrading this from and whatnot. So again, our future episodes will cover some of that. As to the hardware I have running behind the scenes here, and the issues that I've run into. So, but really cool stuff. The Paramount Plus thing.
We just got a little lag on the live stream, I noticed, for a few seconds, but it was not that bad. So
that's good. That's good. I'm glad to hear that it's not too
my audio
crazy laggy
this time properly.
Yeah, we've had tons of audio issues. So far, everything's coming through fine on my side here. But with Paramount Plus, they are taking over the CBS All Access. Let me get into a proper view here. And what's really happening here is that this Paramount has always been the parent company to CBS. So they actually really have always worked in tandem studio-wise. Now Paramount's just putting their name really as the main forefront instead of CBS. There's a lot of negative connotations connected to CBS, not necessarily in a bad way. And your shows that you still love, like Star Trek Discovery and The Stand and whatnot, are still going to be on there. None of that's going away. If anything, you're going to be getting a massive library of Paramount movies, which is what I'm really, really excited about, because it's really what CBS All Access needs. They have a great TV section, but they don't have the best of movie sections. But Paramount has one of the best vaulted movie libraries out there, so they could easily go through and blow some dust off of these old, movies, digitally rescript them, and put them back out as a streaming service. And that's exactly what is happening. Again, you could think all of the people at Universal Studios that pushed the World Tour, Trolls World Tour is what I'm trying to say, movie during the pandemic really started this whole trend, and this is something that all of the studios are going to be jumping onto very quickly, and very, very cool stuff. I'm excited. I can't wait to see what new movies and things will be launching. I know HBO has jumped on the bandwagon with WB and Universal and whatnot, so that's really cool. So just can't wait. I know Apple's got a ton of stuff up their sleeve too. I would not be surprised to see what studios and things have tagged along with their production values. So the war is afoot, and I can't wait to see how it all ends. Hopefully for us consumers, it'll end cheaply and on a good note. No, our last. Oh. This year, I would say I'm not sure if The Matrix 4 is necessarily docked for this year, but that is probably the next big one I cannot wait for. I was a huge fan of the trilogy originally, even though it is really, really hard to understand, and I do plan on doing a video covering those. And explaining it and why a fourth one is needed so badly. So that would be what I'm excited about. Technically, you could say the Animatrix is 4, but actually Animatrix is prequel and filler the gap info.
Yeah, that's like
so, and a lot of video games were based on the Animatrix. I'm not dissing the Animatrix. I love it to death. I own all of them. It's just the fact is that is more prequel than it is anything else, including the story of how the Matrix started, where it began, the robot revolt, all of that jazz. It's amazingly thought through. Love the creators. The Wachowskis are amazing people. Please keep making movies, please. Do not stop. V for Vendetta is another one I absolutely love. I don't think they're going to be having any sequels to those.
I know we've got some stuff coming out this year that sounds interesting. I mean, if they're still on track. Ghostbusters Afterlife, I'm really excited about.
Yes.
The most recent reboot of the Ghostbusters was not a good movie, but it was extremely entertaining, I thought.
I have to say, I own it, nice and I really do love it. I thought the ladies did a fantastic job. But it was so funny.
The originals.
The plot was unfortunate. Unfortunately, easy.
You've got what, 30-something years of change. It was beautiful with some of the CGI. So I'm looking forward to that. What was the one I just saw that sounds interesting? Dune. We're getting Dune this year.
Oh yes, I forgot about that.
But what I'm really excited for, I think, and I'm probably going to get some flack for this. The Snyder cut of Justice League.
You know what? I'm excited about that too.
I get the criticisms on the film.
Me too. I really do.
Again, it is a bad movie. It is. DC has not been able to do anything that Marvel has, but I'm still excited because it's just fun. It's a pretty movie to look at.
Very.
I'll say it. I like Ben Affleck in there. I think he's a good Batman. I don't think he's a good Bruce Wayne, but I like him as Batman.
Thank you for saying that. Thank you for saying that. Yeah, I agree completely.
I think Henry Cavill has done a great job as Superman, Clark Kent.
I agree. Yes. Oh man, the Flash. Yep.
Flash meets
the
CW Flash. They
yes. There's a multiverse episode.
Yeah,
I have not
of
actually
those.
fully watched the episode, but I've seen clips of it, and it's yeah, they do
I
meet.
used to binge watch it.
Which actually kind of spins off that there is a supposed Spider-Man movie, kind of like the multiverse Spider-Man that came out that was animated. Only it's going to be actual people, the fully live version, and you will have all three Spider-Mans in one movie for the first time.
Oh,
So like the which
can
is
they add Spider Ham in there? I really want to
please.
see bring back John Mulaney's Spider Ham. That was one of my favorite characters. Like, do it Into the Spider-Verse in real life. I want to see Nicolas Cage in black and white.
Well,
with
apparently
a
it's a
coat.
different story.
It'd be great.
So it's not exactly parallel stories. So it is somehow going to be different spin-off, but kind of in the way of how there's like that one machine that links the multiverses together, and that's where the different Spider-Mans, which are very similar but different, and have different universes, and this is all coming up in an episode of Cookies Enabled.
Yep.
Uh,
Misael, last comment says ... I'm just going to say that he probably doesn't like my. He's probably disagreeing with my ideas on.
and that's okay.
On
That
the
is
Justice
okay.
League, as so many
I
people do.
want that.
It's
I would.
ripped to shreds.
I know.
Immediately.
We have
And
very weird
rightfully
tastes.
so, but I like bad movies if they're.
Yeah, Matrix 4. What am I thinking, right? And I mean, come on, yeah. So we'll see. We'll see how these go. Again, I don't have a ton of high hopes, but who knows? Who knows?
We'll just
So
have
our
to see
last-
what they come up with.
Our last topic is going to be the NASA mission, which actually just made some pretty big breakthroughs. Let me pull that image up here for you guys. Hopefully that will work and not be playing any audio.
Yep.
And it does
So
not.
watch this
So.
clip, everybody.
Pardon me.
I'm going to kind of talk through as this happens, so you can see exactly. So this is Mars Perseverance mission. I've talked about it before. It's very similar to Curiosity years ago.
Pretty similar.
It's a very big rover, and so they had to come up with a way to land it. They couldn't use balloons. They couldn't use parachutes to get it all the way to the ground. They needed some way to get it to land safely with its size. I'll touch on that comment here in a second.
Yeah, we'll come back to that comment. Keep going.
So they use supersonic parachutes to get it to a pretty low speed, I think about 200 miles per hour.
Yep.
But that's still too fast to land. So they built this rocket, basically. They call it the sky crane, that hovers over the surface. You'll see it as the re-entry.
The entry. Yeah, re-entry, sorry. Mm-hmm. And now again, we have a super thin atmosphere on Mars, which is one reason why it's so hard. It's nothing like our atmosphere here. Very thin. At least. It might actually be less. Yeah. Here we go.
Slows it down, and it's going to hover
Mm-hmm.
above the surface. And then there's cables roughly 21 feet long, I think I read, that's going to lower the rover onto the surface. They can't land with the rockets because it will kick up far too much dust.
And that's a huge issue.
That would settle on equipment. It would keep the solar panels covered, and it just wouldn't work. So they drop it, and then it goes.
Yeah. This is already risky enough with just the hovering.
It detaches, and the sky crane launches himself as far away from the lander as its remaining fuel will send it, just to get it out of the way. The big difference this time is they've gotten really good at finding out where they're going to land this rover.
Yes.
If the image I saw yesterday, if you look at the size of Florida, the original landing zone they thought they'd get for some of the Earth, like was it Sojourner, some of the old little rovers, was as wide as Florida. So if you landed and your area you wanted to explore was 100 miles away, that could take up to a year to get the rover there just to start your experiments. But narrow it down now, they can get this this thing within a few miles of where they want it to land. Tomorrow it's happening. I'm going to try to go live with it. I don't know if I'm going to be able to yet.
Yeah, I will be at work, unfortunately, but Jaeger will try to jump on here and take that feed, which is excellent. So,
If not, definitely going to try it soon, or at least talk about it, because this is extremely monumental. This thing launched. I forget exactly when it launched. Let me pull it up because I want to make. I
ooh,
know.
2016. Yeah, I'm probably way wrong on that. I'm so sorry. I know we have some links in source links in the description already, and we will both be adding to those source lists. I'm trying to cover
Yeah,
everything that we
Perseverance.
went through here.
According to NASA's website, no, I'm not going to go to NASA's website. I'm going to go to because it's.
Please hold.
Oh no, the link's good, but Wiki loads faster just because it's text and
Yes.
not the graphics. But it looks like. Oh, where did it go? Launch. It launched last year, July 30th. So it actually did not take that long to get there, which it usually doesn't. It's a 3 to 6 month window to launch something to the space station, not to the space station, to Mars. I don't know what I'm saying.
Yep. Yep. Exactly.
But this is a huge. The big issue, and what you find is, it takes about 12 minutes for information to get from Mars to us. So we're going to get a signal that says we are entering Mars atmosphere. And by the time we get that signal, it will have either already landed or crashed.
Yep.
It's what they call the 7 minutes of terror. That's what NASA's calling it when they have no clue if it's actually going to.
Oh, I love it.
So we get that signal, and it'll be 7 minutes until we know whether or not it was. And this,
Pretty much. Yep. Ah, for real.
opportunity landing, and it's people are cheering, people are crying tears of joy when it lands properly. It's going to be incredible. I'm gonna try to go live if I can.
Yep. Yeah. That 7 minutes probably feels like 7 years to those people. Yeah.
Again, sheer terror. You don't know what's happening. You can't tell. You can't steer it. It's all automated. But if it goes through, it's going to be extremely important for discovery.
And I think it will. They've had too many successes for this to fail, I think, especially at this point. They've got so much.
Extremely successful for the most part. Very quickly, SpaceX did have they launched a Starlink a few nights ago, and
it's true. Yep.
It missed the drone ship when the first stage re-entered. You saw the view of the barge floating, and off in the distance, you saw a bit of an orange glow, and that was it. It's going to happen. We've done 24 successful landings in a row. That's pretty damn impressive.
I would say so. That's really good.
25 yet. People were.
They'll get there. This is
immediately talking about when you first saw the images when they switched over to the video feed from the drone ship, there were 3 or 4 seagulls just sitting on the pad.
Yep.
And that's when I started thinking it's not going to land, because by now it would have been right above and they would have left. And probably good. They might have. I don't really think they wanted to barbecue any seagulls. PR, that would be a disaster.
Yeah, it would definitely
But
be a
again, the mission was
disaster.
successful. They always say that landing is a secondary. Uh, we're still. I haven't seen what's happened with that yet, so we'll find out. I'm sure we'll get some tweets coming soon on exactly what happened.
Yeah.
We'll see. But yeah, so tomorrow, if you're free in the afternoon, watch this. Watch this live. I'm going to try to be on. If I'm not on at home, I usually go on walks before work. Maybe I'll just pop up Facebook chat or something on my phone and talk while I
Right.
watch it. Might
You
as
could
well.
do that too. Yeah.
It's going to be really cool. If this
I'm
lands.
excited. I'm excited.
A huge mission. It's going to be collecting samples.
Oh, yeah.
And as NASA says, it's going to be collecting samples and pooping them out. It puts them in the files, drops them on the surface for a future mission to collect and
Oh
bring
my
back
gosh,
to
I
Earth.
love that. Oh, they got to entertain themselves
So,
somehow. Those 7 minutes.
we'll see. Yeah, I see.
Yep. Yeah. Yeah, and so I put a little picture up here. It's a really crappy little shot, but how HBO is actually doing this is they're going to break this. They're taking the original Justice League movie, breaking it up into 4 episodes, because the movie will be a little over 4 hours long with all the new added stuff. And technically this isn't new. They didn't reshoot this. This stuff was already shot, but it was just cut out and never shown. He did. It's just been sitting on a shelf. No, he did.
Snyder cut. That's just, and or then he
Yep.
showed. It was like a box or a DVD box said, or it was a big
Right.
film reel. Said
Yep.
the
And
Snyder
it's true. It really was like
And
4.5 hours of
That's
footage.
fake. That's got to be fake. And for the last, I think, year or so, people are saying, no, it's never going to come out. There isn't. And now, boom. Yeah.
Yeah, and even Cyborg said that he remembered when they did the original filming, he said it felt like they had filmed multiple movies because there were so many things they filmed, and then when they released Justice League, even the director's unlimited cut or whatever, it still doesn't have most of the stuff that he filmed, and a few other characters also filmed. And some of that was put into other movies. I know if you've been watching the Doom Patrol also kind of fills in some gaps with the Cyborg story and a few other random DC characters as well. But that's also a different time period, so you can't really apply it to the Justice League. Technically, the Doom Patrol was way before X-Men and before all that other stuff. It's a long and complicated series. So again, this is cool because it's going to be not necessarily a darker side, which is what a lot of critics are saying, that this is a very dark way of looking at the Justice League, but it also fills in all those gaps in the backstories of our lead characters that we didn't get in the original Justice League movie. And so that's what I'm excited about. Plus, it shows the evil man, I always forget his name in this one, as being way more scary. And yeah, Steppenwolf, thank you. He's way scarier in the comic, and I didn't really think he was scary at all in the original Justice League, but this version of him, holy crap, makes Thanos look like a joke. So yeah, I think this is going to be cool.
Well, that's interesting that you say that, because a lot of it, there some criticisms and a lot of things were cut out.
Oh, I'm sure you noticed it in the trailer.
They seemed very eerily similar to some of the stuff you saw in Avengers Endgame. Big, ugly, big ugly villain sitting on a throne. All of this just so
well, and even a darker Gotham.
It,
that you almost see in like some of the video games of Batman over the years. Was the Arkham City one? I think is the most current one that's out. It has the best graphics and whatnot of all. And that one is a very dark look at Gotham, and I think that's kind of foreshadowed a little bit into this cut of the Justice League, because again, it's a heavy foreshadow and current plot of Batman and his, different how he continued to be Batman, I guess you could say. Especially this would technically be in Batman's realm. I think with Justice League, isn't this after Robin? Or see, that's where I don't know, and maybe
yeah,
that's
it
a
would
different
be.
thing. I don't know.
As far as we can tell, it's after Robin. There was a clip in, I think it was Batman versus Superman.
Mm-hmm.
You see,
Because he mentions Robin. I know
well,
they
you see
mention
the
it a few
statue.
times.
You see the
Yeah.
statue with the graffiti on it, and everybody's saying that was Robin's outfit. That was like a homage to him.
Right.
Uh, this is an older Batman. Again, it's its own little universe. We're going to
It
get
is.
the next, was it The Batman, I believe, with Robert
The
Pattinson,
Batman.
which I'm
Yes.
excited for. They're back to filming.
Yep.
That one I'm really looking forward to.
Yeah.
That's another origin
Yes.
story, sort of, but it looks
It does.
really cool.
It looks well done, and they all do. I mean, at this point, you cannot continue to even try and play one of these in any sort of fun or silly. You gotta be 100% really deep into the comics. You can put your own spin on it, which is exactly what we're seeing with the Snyder Cut. Is that this director was like, you know what, I perceived the comics differently as a kid, and this is how I see it, and this is how I want to portray it. That's fine. You know what? I say more power to you. This is an artistic way of expression, And DC has officially signed off. Yep. They are saying this is okay. Yes. Yes, I did too. I still own. Oh, okay, that's not true. I didn't like the third one. I will say that. The third one is
Which
my
one was
least favorite. That's Dark Side of
that?
the or Dark Side of the Moon. I know I always say it.
Dark Side. You did not like Dark Side of the Moon?
No.
Come on.
You gotta be
What was the
kidding
main
me.
villain in that one? He was voiced by Leonard
I'm not saying
Nimoy.
the voice acting or the action was not the problem. It was the plot. I felt like after watching Transformers 2, I'm watching this almost happen again in Transformers
Oh, it
3.
was
You could have cut
Dark
the
of the
first
Moon.
hour of that
Dark Side
movie
of the
out.
Moon is a
Still would have
painful
made sense.
film. I should know that.
Anyway, that's just my personal opinion of that movie. I loved the first two. I will say that.
Yeah.
And I loved the fourth one,
The
which
one
was
with
kind
the
of like the
Dinobots.
reboot. I'm
They
sorry,
were
say
my
again.
favorite growing up. The Dinobots, they were great.
Yes, the Dinobots. Yes, those were so cool. Absolutely loved that. Mark Wahlberg, lead in that one. Great job. Thought he did excellent, especially countering Shia LaBeouf in his job in the first three, which kudos to him. I thought Shia LaBeouf did a great job, really portraying the character exactly as I remember him in the comics and whatnot as a kid. We have another comment. I'm sorry.
Loosely based on that character. That was the thing. It was we need some human character in there. So let's modify it a lot. But
Yeah, the
he says,
Batman does look a
Batman
little more
looks.
unhinged, is what he says. And I'd have to
Yeah.
agree. I'd have to agree. If this is actually after the whole Arkham, Gotham time period, Batman's gonna be kind of losing his mind slightly at this point, I'd say. And this is probably
Well, this
at
is
the
a
end of his
younger
career.
Batman. This is like when he's starting out. So he's probably got some, you know, something. He's had a rough life.
Right, at
Assuming.
least.
It'll be interesting to see the narrative that they take for him. But yeah, he definitely like. I got with his appearance, Robert Pattinson. I got some of the Tobey Maguire evil Spider-Man vibes with the hair.
Yes.
But it looks serious, not campy. Like that.
That's I agree.
that-
I agree.
If you want to talk about a bad movie, Spider-Man 3
Yes.
should never have been made.
There was too much crying. I'm sorry.
And dancing.
Don't even get me started on that. I can't even. I'm sorry. And I love the characters, and I
That was-
love the actors. that were in that movie. I gotta say, they are great, great people. But I don't know what happened. I'm sorry. I think the only reason why I own that movie is because it came free with my PlayStation 3.
That's notable. That's okay.
But I do own it. um, Unfortunately, I don't own my PlayStation 3 anymore. But
God,
that's
maybe
okay.
we should
Totally
just
different
start
now.
turning our channel into a movie review.
It kind of could be. We could totally spin off and do more movie stuff, especially if that's what our viewers are looking for. I could totally do that. I did actually dive
Movie
into a movie this
Mondays or
weekend.
something, or rip
Yeah.
apart bad films. That could be a lot of
Actually, I
fun.
saw a really good one that really showed multiverse theory pretty well, which was kind of intriguing. It was actually called 7 Minutes in Heaven. It's on Hulu. If you got that streaming service, it is not what you think. Exactly, it is kind of what you think. I mean, obviously, these two people go into the closet, the 7 minutes of heaven kind of thing, but instead of actually them doing anything in the closet, they actually get teleported to a different parallel universe that is very evil compared to our current one, but extremely similar. So they're confused and they get lost, and very cool. Also, we're going to be talking. Uh,
Are they just only in there for
yeah, so they
7 minutes?
had, and getting back to their original universe becomes a huge issue. And it's a really good movie. I'm not trying to spoil anything for you guys. Does have some pretty big characters in it. The principal slash guy from Breakfast Club, the main evil dude that oversees the kids. I cannot think of his name. I'm totally drawing a blank right now. I can see his freaking face. I'm sorry. He is in this movie and is really does a good job kind of connecting the characters in both universes. So
Is it
definitely want to take a
seven
look
in
at that one.
heaven?
7 Minutes in Heaven. Yeah.
Oh, I
Um,
see seven in
oh,
heaven, or
7 in
just
Heaven.
seven.
I'm sorry. Yeah, I think that's what it
Seven
was.
in
7 in
heaven.
Heaven.
Okay.
Yeah. Um,
Very cool.
Very cool, very cool. So we do have an
Yeah.
episode coming up in the coming months that will be covering the Mandela effect, which you probably have seen pop up on YouTube channel feeds and in different fun facts and multiverse theories and things. So I dive into a new episode in upcoming ones. I just started doing the post production of that, almost done actually. And
What's our next one coming up? A week from
We
Monday.
should have our welcome episode coming out and our cookies enabled actual episode, which they might actually, we might try to bump those out pretty quick. The welcome episode is more just a backstory on who we are, where I came from, my education and whatnot. And then our cookies enabled episode explains where cookies came from and how they're in your computer, how they work, what do they do, all that stuff. So that's going to be really intriguing as well. So evil, like morally different, I guess, is the only way I can really explain it without going into further detail and ruining anything for you. Hopefully, you got a Hulu account and you could check that movie out. I think it was also on
So, like
Vudu.
the Back to the Future 2 alternate reality.
Kind of, yes, except for that it actually gets it right, unlike Back to the Future.
Hey, don't you put down Back to the Future.
Well, I guess how it works is that technically, when you do jump, if you were to jump multiverses, I'll just touch on this briefly. You would not be able to retain information. Versus, again, when you jump into this other verse, that's your universe. You would just believe that to be yours. There would not be a residual effect of your old universe. So this is again kind of foreshadowed a little bit in this other movie, and there's a reason why in the movie 7 in Heaven the characters can remember both universes, and that is also explained. You got to pay attention as to why. So I will not ruin it. But again, that movie's awesome.
Great.
Definitely check that one out. It was well done. I want to say it was a Canadian film, but it was very, very well done, I thought. At least caught my interest the whole time, so that was good.
One last question for was it Misael?
Yes,
Am I
Misael.
pronouncing that right again? If you want to put in there, how has the audio been throughout this?
Yeah, hopefully it
I've
hasn't been
dropped a
too
few
bad.
times in previous episodes, and it looks like you've been watching the whole time. I wondered how everything came through on your end.
I unfortunately have been dealing with encoding lag on my end here, and my computer has been doing its best to keep up, and I've been able to get it to about 9 to 10% encoding lag through my entire live feeds. But hopefully our audio is coming through at least decently enough that you guys can hear us. And just wanted to see.
It looks like it, like I'm He's sharing his screen, kind of
Oh,
see
cool.
what's happening too. We can both
Yeah.
troubleshoot if necessary. And from where I'm looking, it looks like the audio feeds worked out pretty well.
Yeah, everything
I'm
looks like it's coming through
hoping this
great.
one worked a little bit better. I switched to a different mic this time too. Uh, I don't know why. I was using Bluetooth, and I think that might have caused a bit of
We might
lag.
have been having interference with the Bluetooth mics. I'm using a wired blue ball mic I got from my lovely sister Carrie, and she did a fantastic job getting this to me, and it has been nothing but just a massive asset
But
to
it's
the
not blue.
company so far. It is not blue; it is white, surprisingly, but it does say blue on the front here. Let me see if I can turn it around so you can see that blue.
It looks like 343 Guilty Spark from Halo.
Hopefully my microphone's still working. I think I may have lost my audio feed, but um,
You did for a
yeah,
second,
the
but
cable's a little
it's
loose, so
back.
that does kind of fade in and out. But anyway, thank you all.
Oh, it sounds echoey.
Thank you all for tuning in. Hopefully everything went well. This, if you guys have more comments, you want us to review some movies, or give you guys some more pointers on which ones are good, how they're bad, what's wrong with them, let us know. If you got other science topics or technology questions or whatnot, please dive into our sources. Let us know if I missed something, if we need to cover something else different, or in different episodes. But definitely let us know. And I will definitely try to update the Facebook pages and Instagram and whatnot with future episodes and what we're going to be doing. Mandela Effect is coming, and we're going to be really diving into that one. I'm super excited. We have the Cookies Enabled episode coming out, our Welcome episode coming out, which is again more of a history of us and who we are. And thank you guys all for tuning in. I really appreciate it. And thank you again for Miss
And
Ayal for
subscribe.
all the awesome comments. The editor voice dropped a few sec. Okay, so not terrible, but about 30 seconds. Okay, cool. Just making sure. So awesome. Again, hopefully once I keep getting my hardware upgraded, these software issues and live stream issues will start to fade away. But I appreciate everybody dealing with us and our glitchiness. Again, I am running this on 8-year-old technology, so for me to be able to even get it this good is actually pretty impressive. So, but I appreciate everybody for tuning in. Check out our main episodes. We'll have another one coming out here in 2 weeks. We just released our latest one, which is the history of video games. Check that one out. I know I already got some criticism from Miss Ayala about hating on the Sega CD, and I
Well,
can't
you have to
stand
hate
the
on it.
CD.
Yeah, like our page, subscribe if you want. Hit the notification bell so you can see when our videos come out. Um, and share them on your page if you want. We've gained a few subscribers. We're still really small, but we would love to reach a larger audience. So if you like it, just give the channel a share on your Facebook page, retweet, follow us on any of those. We're
Please
really
do.
enjoying making these videos.
I'm
I
loving it.
know Will has so much fun filming them, and I have I have fun at 3 a.m. pulling my hair out, wondering why mirror is hating me. But it is a lot of fun, especially like
Mhm.
you should have seen me dancing around when I finished the final logo render. It's like this is so much better. It was
Yeah,
fun.
thank you again for that
So
logo. It is
I make
really, really cool.
um, we do more conversations with a lot of our fans. So
Definitely.
get the word out there. Tell people. We're shamelessly plugging that. So
But thank you all again for tuning in. We will see you either next Wednesday or in our next live episode. But thank you all for tuning in and have a great day. Thanks for learning something with us. We hope you had a great time. Bye, guys.